And the screen tilts, man. It's like a little tiny laptop. That was fun. So if you've been on the channel for the last few videos, you know I'm kind of annoyed with modern smartphones and modern smartphone reviewers because it seems like we're chasing a slab of glass with no buttons and no features and very boring to look at, where you can't tell one from the other, and there's no special anything about any of them other than this one does the thing 1.2% faster.
And while they may look familiar, we have changed everything about these new iPhones.
I'm not interested in that. I miss the days when phones were interesting. This is a boring phone. This is a boring phone. This model dates back 50 years. Shouldn't be that way. I'm going to show you something I think is interesting. This is one of my first smartphones. This was a Windows mobile phone. Now, granted, it's tiny, but there's no reason you couldn't build this today. Tilting screen, and you know how rough I am with phones. So how durable could this have been to have survived a guy who does this to phones, right? So this is a Windows mobile phone. I actually ran a scaled down version, I think of Windows 95 or 98, I don't remember, but full QWERTY keyboard, number row, D-pad, the whole 9 yards, headphone jack, USB port, has a slide out stylus because the UI was so tiny on that little tiny screen. I mean, that's smaller than a credit card. And the screen tilts, man. It's like a little tiny laptop. That was fun, that was cool. But over the years, they've gotten more and more boring to where the best you can hope for is like a sliding phone, or maybe, I mean, this was 10, 15 years ago, you could get a phone that just flipped open. Nothing like this sliding, tilting thing. And then for a minute, there was some real innovation. This is a 3D phone. HTC made this. You see the two cameras there? And the screen was actually 3D as well. So if you held it at the right distance from your face, you did not need glasses, and it was in 3D. This still works, by the way. I mean, if you look at it, it's clearly had better days. Here's my phone. And then you have rugged phones like this. I think this is the Brigadier by Kyocera, and if you look real close, it's cracked. This is actually a sapphire screen. I can break anything. And I had more than one. I didn't break this screen, but this one, the USB port broke. There's almost nothing interesting anymore. And the last kind of cool phone I had that I even saw on the market that kind of broke my heart when I finally broke it, because I actually broke 3 of them. This is one of them. I ran it over with a tractor trailer. It still works, kind of, but you'll bleed if you use it. And this one I broke too. But this is an LG V60 Thin Q dual screen. And if you want to know why LG doesn't make smartphones anymore, it's not because they made bad devices. They made awesome devices. It's because they couldn't figure out how to have a naming scheme that lasted for more than a generation. LG V60 Thin Q dual screen. So on the surface of it, it's just a regular old smartphone, flagship type stuff, boring slab. Until you bring the secondary display. There's actually 3 displays. It just slides in. Look how cool this thing is. Slides in, snaps in. It's a little bigger, a little thicker, but you know, no big deal. Has a screen, has a display on the outside. I don't know how well is that showing up at all. Yeah, there you go. It shows the time. It's a mirror finish too, so I can like, ooh, what a luxurious beard. Oh, my mustache is a little out of. There we go. I look better now. I look beautiful. So you unlock it, and you have the 2 screens. So let's say over here I want to have the radar going, right? So I can see where I am and all that jazz. And over here, boop, pull up a, let's see, I want to go to Twitter, X, multi-window, but I also want to have Pipe, which is YouTube front end. I want to have that. So you can have 3 apps running at the same time. I love this phone. I'm too much of a klutz to own it. So I got really depressed because I felt like I was going to have to go back to having phones that were nothing more than these.
No product is more about innovation than the iPhone.
Slabs of glass, really boring, nothing phones. And then something happened. Then I discovered, after I broke that last LG, I started looking for a rugged phone again. And Kyocera's kind of chickened out. They're not in the market anymore. And so I found this company, Ulefone. I don't know if you remember this. This is a gorgeous thing. 25T Pro. I discovered Ulefone. And then I also discovered other brands. And I keep looking at these other brands that I've never heard of before, but they make awesome stuff. Come on, I'm gonna show you, come on. So we're gonna start with Ulefone, the brand I mentioned earlier. I have 2 of these devices. So the phones I have are both big, full-size, huge phones. And one of the criticisms that people say about the phones is they're just too big to use. Well, this is a scaled-down version of the phones I have. It has the thermal camera, has a huge 6,200 milliamp hour battery, it has this giant, super bright light on the back, has these like police lights on the back, 50 megapixel camera on the back, a 32 megapixel front camera, and it runs Android 14. It has all the mil-spec durability stuff. And let me scroll down here. One of the really cool things about it is since it's so small, it's a little bigger than that tiny Windows phone I was showing you earlier. But along with all the thermal stuff that it has, along with the durability, along with the huge battery, along with the fast charging, the wireless charging, all the stuff you want, you also have this cool little feature here. It's small enough, and it comes with this clip, it's small enough to clip it to your clothes and wear it like a body camera, like an action camera. So like I do kayaking and hiking, and even with my Uliphones, I would be nervous, my big Uliphones, I'd be nervous to take it down in the water, but with this I could clip it to myself and take it down the river. How cool is that? Next is the Doogee V40 Pro. I don't own a Doogee, funny name, but look at this on the back. It has this little screen down here, and I wonder about the usability of the rear-facing screens, but to use it as a viewfinder for selfies would be amazing. And the phone also can be had in blue. I mean, why are most phones so ugly? This one looks really cool, and it has, this is a ruggedized phone. Android 14, it has all the mil-spec stuff of the other ones. So it has Android 14, has the 1.1.5 inch rear screen, 200 megapixel main camera. It has a night vision camera like the Uliphones I have. It has an 8680 milliamp hour battery, so that's like 50% larger than the battery in most flagships. Really cool phone, and it's $600, which is kind of pricey for these, but $600 for a phone that'll do things your very fragile iPhone can never do. Here's another one. This is from the company AMG. What you're looking at is a super loud speaker on the back of your phone. So it's like wouldn't need a Bluetooth speaker. So like if you're like me and you have Bluetooth speakers laying around so you can listen to music when you're out doing stuff, because I'll like be working in the yard or working on a project outside, I want to listen to music, I'll take a Bluetooth speaker. With this one you wouldn't need that. You just take the phone. And it has this massive battery on it as well. So you would not have to worry about killing the battery. 7,000 milliamp battery. This does have an older version of Android, but there are newer out there with the newer versions of Android. And again, a ruggedized phone, $250. Come on. And that's on their website. It's probably cheaper on AliExpress. I should look that up. I'll throw the price on Ali up here. So here's one from a company called Blackview. And Blackview does get a little bit of press. Not a lot. They make ruggedized phones. This Blackview ruggedized phone comes with these like camping lights, these super bright, I used to call these cob LEDs. I don't know what they're actually called. But imagine, like if you work outside like I do in the dark, having a super bright flashlight with you at all times, not having to look for it. I'm always trying to dig through my bag. It falls at the bottom of my work bag, and I got to find my light. That would be amazing. Then you have this company, Unihertz, which Unihertz, they get some publicity. I don't know how they're managing it. They do a lot of weird stuff. They do a lot of, what is it called, where you crowdfunding type things. And these are older phones you're looking at here, but these are 3 phones they've made with physical keyboards on the bottom of them, very much like a BlackBerry. And you notice the highest price here is $320. They also sell very minimalist tiny phones like the Jelly Max phones. These are really tiny little things. So if you don't like huge phones, like all the big boys have abandoned small phones. Well, Ulefone and Unihertz still make small phones. Unihertz is really weird. They also make this thing. This is, if we could get rid of that, they make weird things. Like this is a phone that actually comes with a DLP projector on it, laser projector. I've seen videos of this thing. I don't own one, but apparently this is a monster. It has a 2380 milliamp hour battery, so that is absolutely huge. You could use this as a power bank for your friends with lesser phones. And I think it's actually a pretty good looking phone. Oh, and look, has the cob light on the back. This one is not so cheap. This is $720, but you're getting a laser projector. So I imagine, like, if you travel, but you still like to consume media on your phone, and you don't want to deal with like the stupid hotel TV, you could stream via this, broadcast it on the projector, sit this on a bedside stand and have it projecting on the ceiling. And then we have this company, 8849, and I can't figure out if 8849 is related to Unihertz or not, but they have this ridiculous tablet called the Tank Pad, $600. And I'm not a tablet fan. One of the reasons I don't like tablets is they're fragile, and I have limited use for them if I can't take them out into the real world. That's why most people have a tablet, and the tablet stays in their house, or it stays in a backpack, and or a satchel or whatever, and it only gets pulled out in like an office setting or at the home. That's how I've always used mine. This one is ruggedized, has the giant cob light on the back, and like that Unihertz phone we just looked at, this has a projector on the back. So you could use this as a movie projector. 21,000 milliamp hour battery, IP68, 69K, and mil standard 810H. So just so you know, what the 69K is, that is like directed pressure jets of heated water. Think a car wash or your shower. Not that I'm saying take this thing into the shower with you, but there you go. One of the things I hate about modern phones is they're mostly very boring looking and ugly. I think all the iPhones and the Samsung Galaxies and the Motorola's, I think they're all boring, ugly slabs of glass with maybe some painted frosted glass in the back, and now they're going, ooh, look, faux leather, read plastic. This is from a company, III F150. III F150 is the name of the company. And they make these ruggedized phones. But look how pretty this thing is. This thing is a work of art. And it has the thermal camera on the back. Huge battery. And it's 68, 69K, 810H. This thing is, I mean, I look at this, I'm like, that thing's gorgeous. Look at this emblem, the sun emblem around the camera. Why is that there? I don't know, but I love it. Why can't all phones be this pretty? So this is a company called HotWav or Hot Wave. I don't know, I'd never heard of them until recently. But they make really interesting and very affordable phones as well. These are ruggedized, 68, 69K, Milstead 810H, so this is just as rugged as the other ones. But look how interesting and pretty the back of this thing is. And it has that rear display. I'm not sure how useful that is, other than for your selfies. And they also make a ruggedized tablet, which again, I think looks really, I think it's good looking. One of the problems I think with most tablets is they, especially the affordable ones, is they are very ugly. They're like just scaled up versions of the Samsung Galaxy or the iPhone, which is boring and ugly. Look at that strap on the back, R9 Pro. This is a really cool device. I like that. So this is Oukitel. I've heard of them before. I'm just bringing them up because they don't have like the pronounced design language of the other ones. So if you didn't like that kind of over-the-top styling of the F-150 phone or how crazy the tank looks, this is very demure, as the girls would say, very simple. But this is still a full-on rugged phone, 68, 69K, 810H, $330. So a lot of you have heard of FosseBot. They make power banks and other things. They also make this giant tablet, ruggedized, under $300. I meant to only talk about cell phones, rugged phones, but when I started browsing and finding all these cool tablets, I was like, oh, we got to include the fact that there are tablets that are actually durable out there. And again, with this Oscal, I'd never heard of Oscal. This is a really interesting, cool phone. First off, it's similar to my Ulefone 27 Pro with the metal sides and then the rubberized corners. I love that design. Just feels good in the hand. But this has an interesting thing where the flashlight, the LEDs for the flashlight are actually on the end of the device, which I think would be a lot more ergonomic when using them. I sometimes am using my phone's flashlight, and you got to hold the flashlight, you know, of course, with the broadside facing what you're looking at. And that kind of blocks your view. It's not how you would normally use a flashlight. Well, here you can have the flashlight the way you'd use it. And it has a programmable button on the side, so you could program that for the flashlight. And this has that crazy loudspeaker on the side. So like the phone I was talking about earlier, this is 138 decibels. This is apparently even louder. So if you're working outside, want to listen to music, you don't have to bring your Bluetooth speaker. You can just use your phone. This also has a 15,000 milliamp hour battery, so 3 times as much as a Galaxy or an iPhone. And these are cheap. So Qbot, I had never heard of Cubot, but I had heard of their phone, the King Kong series. This is a whole series of phones. This is, I think, the newest one, the X Pro. And it has a MediaTek 8200 processor in it, and you're thinking, oh no, the Snapdragon Elite is the best. Maybe, but maybe not. The MediaTek 8200, I have a lesser processor on my phone, and I can play all sorts of games on it with no problem. It has a huge screen, 144 hertz refresh, and it has the rear screen again. I think this thing just looks cool. And this is the back of it. And I want to point out, this is a 100 megapixel camera. Now the lenses look really tiny, but there's a 100 megapixel camera on this. So maybe it doesn't take the greatest pictures, but imagine taking a selfie with a 100 megapixel camera. And this, I want to pause for a moment just to highlight the rear screens kind of seem like a gimmick to me at first, but then I start thinking about it like, one of the problems with your phone is you want to change the music track you're listening to, you want to check the time or whatever. What if there was a screen where you like, I don't want to get trapped with looking at social media updates or text messages or any of that garbage, any of the notifications. I just want to check what I want to check and put the phone down. Well, if you have the rear screen, it's kind of a minimalist interface. I have a rugged smartwatch and it kind of serves the same purpose, but to not have to wear the watch, because I don't like wearing watches, this would be a great, I'm starting to think it'd be a great alternative. And I'm finishing up with what I think is kind of a halo device. This is the Armor Pad 4 Ultra thermal version from Ulefone. So I have a Ulefone that has the thermal camera and the night camera, and I have one that just has the night camera. This is kind of like if you took that whole design philosophy and you scaled it up into this massive tablet. So it has the thermal camera, which means it can see heat. It has this giant camping light on the back. It has an 11,800 milliamp hour battery, and in this space that's not huge, but it's a lot bigger than what you're going to get in most tablets. It has wireless charging, it has a 32 megapixel front facing camera and a 50 megapixel back facing camera, so that's a big deal. Most of the time when you get a tablet, the cameras are terrible. This has a 50 megapixel rear camera, and I'm willing to bet it's the same one that's on my 25T Pro, which is a really good camera. It takes great night pictures, in fact. Carrying all those certifications we talked about, so blasting, streaming, hot water. You can use this doing whatever, like if you're a construction worker, or I would use this as a tractor trailer driver, I would probably use this instead of my Garmin, because the Garmin does so little and it's basically an Android tablet. This could totally replace that and have a lot more usage for it. And something Ulefone does probably better than any other company is the accessories. So most of their top-end phones have this port on the side that connects to their proprietary accessories. So you have a microphone, a couple of endoscopes, and other things. And if you've never used an endoscope for like home repair or working on your car, oh my God, what a game changer. To be able to see behind things and have it illuminated as you're looking at it, that's just great. And they also have these really good proprietary straps for the things. So like one of the problems with a tablet is you can't hold the dadgum thing. They're hard to hold. So imagine having that strap that you're looking at there on your tablet. Here's a different strap they sell that has a little built-in kickstand. And I like how it looks like it kind of gives a little bit of a little bit of 3D shape for you to hold as well as the strap. Then they have this, and if you've ever seen industrial tablets, they'll have this a sling thing you can wear, holster pro they call it. Come on, it's brilliant. Look at it. It's got a kickstand, it's got the hand strap, mobile workstation. You carry it like an attaché, and then you got this sound kit stand charging thing monster. So if you use it in your house as a media center, it'd be great for that. Like most tablets have such minimal use cases that there's no reason to get a nice tablet. That's why like the Amazon Fires even exist. They're crappy, cheap plastic tablets because you don't want to actually use them for anything. You very rarely use them. Well, if you had this monster, you could use it. Look at this car mount thing they have. Oh my Lord, that is a beast. I could so imagine this on the dash of my Kenworth instead of my stupid Garmin, which I love my Garmin, but come on, this is so much better. Okay, so if any of that sounded interesting to you, or if all of it sounded interesting to you, or good, something you'd like, do the whole like, subscribe, and comment thing. It'll feed the algorithm and make these companies realize that maybe we want something better than just slabs of glass. Maybe what we want are rugged and unique phones and tablets, things with cool features. Not just the same features, different features for different people. And follow me on, what are they, the Instagram, Reddit, Facebook, X, Twitter, whatever. I'm on all that. I'm also on YouTube. I don't know if you noticed. I'm on YouTube too. All right. I got to go take a nap. Been a lot of editing. I got to go. Live means bye.